welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing this makeup look. So it's a really in-depth makeup look on this just sort of simple beginners makeup, really, I guess. I really talk through how I do each step in more depth than I normally do. This video is going to be in two different parts just because I think they'll be too long to be in one video. Yeah, so I start off with the eyes, and then next on Friday it will be my base. So if you'd like to see how I created this beginner's soft glam look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so as previously mentioned, I am going to be doing like a in-depth beginner's sort of tutorial thing. It's actually roasting in here. I just need to put the aircon on. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to be tying my hair up because when I'm doing my makeup I hate having my hair on my face. Like, it really annoys me, so normally I tend to do my hair after I've done my makeup. I'm going to be starting off with my brows as always. So this is going to be pretty simple. It's not going to be anything too complicated. I'm going to try and make it as simple and as I can, but obviously look really glam as well. Just so most people, like, you can recreate it quite easily, because a lot of people have been asking me just for like a beginner's soft sort of glam makeup look that like is in depth, so you can follow it really easily. So I highly recommend getting one of these brushes. This is the Holy Grail Brow Duo brush. I don't actually think they're too expensive. I'll like insert the price somewhere around here. I am obsessed with this brush, one because it's got spoolie on one end and then the defined angle brush on the other end. As well, this brush is super fine, so you can really get those like nice sort of sharp lines when you're doing your brows. And you can also, if you want more of a feathery brow, oh my god, you can do like a feathered brow look as well. One of my favorite brow products at the moment is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Medium Brown Brow Powder Duo. Now this, like, I think is, again, I'll leave the price. Obviously, I mean, most Anastasia Beverly Hills products are quite expensive, but there is a Maybelline one that I used to use, which is actually quite good as well, just from Priceline. Again, I'll leave the price somewhere on the screen. So I'll try and give like alternative products to use, but some products I just prefer to stick to high-end because I think that they're a lot better, and I haven't found a good drugstore option. To start off with my brows, I like to brush the hairs upwards. And then I'm just going to dip into my brows, so I kind of just do like on the side, I don't know, just kind of pat it on, you know. And then I'm just going to be starting from underneath. Oh, should I zoom you in? Yeah, probably. Okay, so I'm going to be starting underneath the brow, just drawing a line. Like so. Getting a little bit more product, and then going round and drawing down to the tip. Okay, then I start to kind of push up the product at the front of the brow, so just lightly pushing the product out. I do have like a spot that like doesn't have much hair there, so I just fill that in and keep pushing the product upwards. Then I like to go on to the top of the brow, so I like to start at the arch area here. So I start around this area, and then I kind of give myself a bit of a higher arch, and then start to come down the other side. I then fill in that section there. Again, really light hand, just more like fluffy strokes, I guess. And then I lightly draw a line on the top of my brow. So here, connect that up with that line. Fill in that little gap there and fluff out the front a little bit. And it's good as well because you can kind of use the spoolie to diffuse any really harsh lines that you end up getting, because sometimes it's you might have a bit that just looks a little bit too harsh for your liking. Okay, then I just start to go down my brow to the end, and then match that up with the other line that I drew underneath and fill in the tail. Then I kind of just have a look in the mirror and see like how, if I'm liking it, like if I need to fill in any other areas, change the shape a little bit. fill in the front a little bit more or anything, any sparse gaps. But I think I'm pretty happy with that. Also bearing in mind that brows always look larger when you have nothing else on your face. That's just the way that it goes. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this one, and then I'll come back and start off with the eye. Now that my brows are done, I'm going to be taking some of the P. Louise eye base. So basically what happened, I'll show you the bottle compared to the size of my head. So I ordered some of the new P. Louise, some more of the P. Louise eye base because I needed some more and I'd run out. And I was like, oh, you know, there's a big extra large bottle. I was like, yep, I'll get that. Didn't really think anything of it. Ordered it and it arrived. And I was thinking, what the hell have I ordered? This is really heavy, really big. And I was like, what have I ordered? And then I opened it. And there we have this massive ass eye base. And it is about, it's the same size as my head. Just let me get it. Hang on. Here we go. Are you like, sorry? I know it's not in focus, but you can still see the size comparison. But I've been really loving the P. Louise eye base, as I find even when you kind of sharpen up the outer corner here, you can still really blend the rest of it. I'll explain it when I'm at that step. You can still blend the rest of it into your foundation so it's not a really defined line and it looks more soft and diffused. And also I feel like the pigment of eyeshadows really stick to it, and rude. And just the color payoff and the blending as well. It's really super easy to blend. And they obviously do smaller bottles of P. Louise eye base than the one that I purchased. But I'm not too sure how they are. Again, leave it on screen. But yeah, I think it's one of the things that I'm really obsessed with at the moment. So, I mean, if you're after a really good eye base, then I would highly recommend that one. Okay, and I like to take this just on a flat concealer brush. I take the smaller one, which is a manicure concealer one, but unfortunately it's discontinued. But then I also just take a flat concealer brush. This one's just a Models Prefer one, and I really like it just for patting it all over the rest of my eyelid. So yeah, I'm just going to take a small amount. I just take, because I put it in the thing, so I just take a little spatula, but when you get it in the smaller bottles, it's just like a squeezy tube. I coat the brush back and front, and then I start at the front of my brow. So basically just going to be drawing a straight line all the way underneath the brow just to clean it up a little bit, just as sometimes when you're doing the brows they can get a little bit messy, and also when you haven't had your brows done for a while, it kind of covers up the loose little hairs that you might have, like I've got right now. So I'm just going to start at the front. I can't actually talk while I do this because I need to be really still. But basically, yeah, you'll see what I do. Just pretty much straight across, and I'll pull the product down after. You can also get really good brushes like these from like paint stores and stuff. And they're super sharp and defined. Then I'm just going to pull the product down. I do go quite far out with the concealer. That way, like I said before, we can get that nice blend into the foundation. I just go over and just neaten any areas up that I feel like need to be neatened up. Oh, and then I take the rest of, or like, you know, just pack on the rest of the product that I've got left over. Again, this primer is patting motion, so that's how it kind of like sets itself almost. So just patting it into the eyelid. If you were using a concealer, I would recommend setting it, but only lightly. That way the eyeshadows still have something to stick to. Because sometimes if you set it down with too much powder, your eyeshadows will then go patchy. So if you're just setting it down just lightly with a powder, but obviously this base you don't need to set, so I won't be setting this down today, like so. Okay, so the eyeshadows that I'm going to be taking, I feel like eyeshadows are a thing that most of the time they kind of have to be good quality eyeshadows. Some are okay, but I haven't really found any that I'm like really obsessed with at a drugstore yet. I feel like you can get good eyeshadows that aren't too cheap, like that aren't too expensive, sorry. Like INGLOT eyeshadows are really good and they're individual, so you can get just, if you like a certain color, you can just get that color. I think they're around $12 each, I'm pretty sure. I did really like Makeup Geek ones, but some of the colors that I'm about to show you have actually been discontinued, so I'm even on the hunt for some good eyeshadows that are pretty much exactly the same color as these, which sucks. But yeah, so I'm basically just going to be taking, it's like this shade right here. It's like this brownie sort of shade. As you can see, I go through it heaps. This one's Cabin Fever from Makeup Geek, but like I said before, it's actually been discontinued, which sucks. So I'm basically going to be using that. I'm also going to be using Sidekick from Makeup Geek, which is like this sort of orangey color too. And then I'm going to be taking my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. And I'm going to be taking, no, these two right here. So let me show you the whole palette, these two. So these are the colors that I'm going to be taking to like blend out those colors from Makeup Geek. So I'm just using this is the Holy Grail pencil brush. So I really like these brushes because they get right into the crease. And then I'm using, okay, this one's rubbed off. Oh no, hang on. Yep, okay, it has rubbed off. This is a Zoeva one. I'm pretty sure it's a pencil brush too, but it's just like more of a fluffy pencil brush, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it. But basically, like, these two are my like most used brushes at the moment. So I'm just going to be taking that Cabin Fever shade. So I'm going to start in the outer corner. So basically just patting this eyeshadow on. Keep picking up product, getting right into the crease. And kind of bringing it about halfway through my eye, so probably like where it is right now. And then I'm going to put that just in this part of my crease too. When I'm kind of trying to blend out the edges, I like to try and soften them a little bit. I don't want them to be too harsh, so by kind of like tapping and pulling down into where I've placed the eyeshadow, it softens the edges a lot, and that makes it easier for me to blend them out when I go in with another colour. So basically I just keep packing on these colours until I have like the desired what's the intensity that I would like. And then I'm going to go ahead with those two colours from the Jaclyn Hill palette. So just kind of mixing them together. So when blending, I kind of like to start by patting the colour that I have just picked up on. That's how, when you're using this P. base, it's a lot easier to kind of pat it on first and then blend it out afterwards. Okay, so just lightly patting. Lightly patting this on, like so. And then I like to take fluffy blending brushes and I just use this to blend out the outer edge. So this has got no product on it. And don't worry if like you get it in your eyebrow, we can just go over them after anyway. Okay, so as you can see, that's like kind of nicely blended out. There is a slight patch like right here where I feel like I need to bring the darker up a little bit higher. So I'm just going to do that now. But as I said before, kind of like patting it and pulling it down rather than like going in really hard, and also going in with quite a light hand as well. When you're blending, you want to have a really, really light hand. Then taking that brush that I used to blend the colours, the lighter colour onto my eye, I'm going to take the lighter colours again. Like I said before, more of the darker brown, and I'm just going to bring this into the front of my crease. So we want a little bit of colour through the front, but I'm not going to be using, for this look, because it's a more softer, easy beginner's look, I'm going to be taking more of a lighter colour. So just kind of putting this through the crease. Also remembering, like, it doesn't matter if this part here isn't blended because we're going to be covering that up with like a pigment anyway. So it doesn't matter too much. So kind of using circular motions with a light hand. And then just getting that brush with like no product on it. Well, it's probably got product on it now, but taking that brush and just blending everything together. Obviously you don't want like a definite, is it definite? Definite? I don't even know. You don't want a line like harshly there, so kind of just blend that forward a little bit too. Go back in with that colour. And then just keep like backing with that clean brush and just blending it all together. Like so. So that's this eye done with the eyeshadows. Basically, you only pretty much need like 3 or 4 eyeshadows to do like a simple, easy look. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this eye, come back and we'll do the like pigments and stuff, which is like the fun part. Okay, as you can see, that's like nice and blended out. So I'm going to be taking a fluffy brush. So I don't actually know what this one is, but it's kind of like a, I don't know, I probably said that. It's like oh my god, orange, what? It's like a rounded fluffy brush, and I'm going to be using this to pack on my my gel liner to have a base for the glitters and pigments to stick to. So I'm going to be taking the INGLOT gel liner. Again, I haven't really found anything like this. I feel like you can use the P. Louise eye base actually as a pigment base. It sticks things down. Concealer I don't think would work, and glitter glue I find hard to blend out. Like once it's on, it's very difficult to have that blend into the glitter and from the glitter to the eyeshadow. I don't know, this is probably the only thing that I've found that's actually really good. It's like a shimmery sort of nude colour. Basically I just pack a little bit on. Now the pigments that I'm going to be using, again, I haven't really found anything like it. I know that NYX do some really good pigments, and I also came across one today. It's more of like a creamy one, so you probably wouldn't actually need the gel liner. It's from Mecca Maxima. I'll leave like the picture on the screen here. It's kind of like a little pot, like a gel form of like a foiled sort of eyeshadow, and they look really pretty. There's some like really nice bronzy sort of colors, and yeah, I think they'd be pretty similar to I think it would give a similar look to what I'm going for today, but just kind of obviously cheaper because you're not paying for like 3 different things, if that makes sense. So for the pigment, I'm going to be taking the INGLOT Pure Pigment Eyeshadow in 124, which is like a bronzy sort of gold colour. And then over the top, I'm taking the INGLOT Body Sparkles in 106, which is like, this is like a chunky sort of more glitter form, I guess. I used this on my most recent Instagram photo. Again, I'll leave a photo here, and I was obsessed with it. So basically that's the kind of look that I'm going for today. Now the brush that I'm going to be taking to put on the pigments is the Real Techniques 200 brush. I really like this brush as I feel like it gives like a really diffused sort of, because it's so large, it's more fluffy and diffused, and it just looks really pretty and soft once you put it on. So I'm kind of just like patting it on. I don't really want like a heap of it on the brush. I just literally just kind of like pat in the pot. This one's my pot, by the way. And then I'm just going to be patting this onto my lid. So as you can see, it's not like a lot amount of product. And then I'm going to blend this up towards my crease and blend this out towards, using a really light hand, like so. And don't want too much product, just like a slight amount, and I'm going to pat this over the top. Making sure you just cover all of that area that I have applied the gel liner onto, like so. Okay, then I'm going to go back in with the gel liner and I'm just going to lightly pat a little bit over the top of this. Then I'm going to be taking that brush that I used in the outer corner and I'm going to be going back in with, I'm going to just like start to blend those two, the eyeshadow and the pigments together. So kind of lightly just packing onto the top and then into the crease as well. And then getting the other brush that I used and just blending the top. Okay, so we've got them both done now and they're looking really nice. So now I'm going to be taking some gel liner. So as you all probably know, the one that I use the most is the INGLOT gel liner in 77 mixed with a tiny little bit of Duraline, maybe 216 eyeliner brush. It's just a really super thin eyeliner brush. Now I'm going to be just doing this on my lash line and then I'm going to be smoking out in the outer corner. So then starting at the kind of like just before the front of my eye, I just try and do like a really light hand and be as steady as I possibly can. I kind of lean on my cheek. And as you can see, I do it in small sections, so I don't just go one whack over the whole eyelid. I gradually get a little bit thicker towards the outer part of the eye. And then as I am going to be smoking this out, I kind of fade off the eyeliner a little bit, just like with little strokes towards the end, like so, if you can see that. Like that. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm going to be taking a black eyeshadow. My favourite is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Noir eyeshadow. I think this is one of the best eyeshadows I've ever used. Apparently the INGLOT J-Lo collection one is also really good, so if you're needing one that's like a little bit cheaper, go for that. So I'm going to take this like flat sort of fluffy shader brush, I guess it probably is classed as, and then a small fluffy brush. So I apply the black with this and then blend it out with this one. So I apply the black to just one side of my brush and I kind of tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to pat it in the outer corner there. And then just blend that out. I don't want too much, just mainly just to have the eyeliner isn't so like blunt at the end, that's all. Like so. See how that's just got like a tiny little bit of darkness in the outer corner. It just kind of like makes the eye pop a little bit more. Now I'm going to be putting on some false lashes. I'm going to be taking the lashes, they're just from AliExpress. Actually, I'll leave the link to them down below. They're the style D113. And I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty lash glue. This lash glue is probably one of my absolute favourite lash glues on the planet. It's black, which I wish they brought out a clear one as well because it's such good lash glue. It's actually waterproof and fast drying, and it literally sticks your eyelashes down like there is no tomorrow. But actually Holy Grail are coming up with an eyelash glue, which I'm really excited about because I do like the Huda Beauty one, but I mean, if I can support a smaller company and their like lash glues are going to be amazing, which it probably will be because everything else that they sell is amazing. So I'm hoping, yeah, I'm excited to go to purchase that actually because I think it'll be really good. So I'm excited for that to come out. Okay, so basically when I'm putting lashes on, I like to just look down into a mirror and I like to obviously place them over my natural lashes. So, and then just kind of, I put the middle down first, so kind of place it just there like that, and then I kind of fixate the end. I try and softly blink when I'm applying them just so it doesn't get the lash glue all over my eyelids. And then I like to just push down the front. Like I said, these lashes, like the lash glue just sticks it down like pretty much instantly, so you don't have to stress about it pinging off and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good lash glue. So yeah. Okay, so now that everything's looking like really nice, I love what lashes can do to a look. I'm just going to be taking a makeup wipe. I just take ones that I just bought from Priceline. They're just like super cheap because I just use them just to clean up under the eyes. So when I'm cleaning up under the eyes, I like to kind of try and keep it, I've been obsessed with like the less defined line at the side recently. So I try and just kind of like just slightly sort of dust away any product that's not really necessary to be there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do like my base for part 2. I'll come back after I've like done my base and I'll finish off under the eyes and stuff. But yeah, I'll see you shortly once I've got my base on. Okay, so I'm back with my base done. I'm going to be taking the same eyeshadows that I used on the top, on the bottom, obviously apart from the shimmer colours. So starting off with Cabin Fever along my lash line, then blending it out with those 2 lighter brown shades from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and then putting a tiny bit of black just in the outer corner here. And just blending that out. So I'm just using this one. I think it's just, again, a flat shader brush. And this one is, again, I don't know. They're kind of the same shape, but one's more fluffy and one is more flat and defined. So this is where we start to blend in the concealer sort of into the foundation. I've been loving the Zoeva 231 Luxe Petite Crease to do this. So I just kind of like to blend here. This is one of the main parts that kind of needs to be blended out. Obviously towards the eyebrow part here and around this sort of region, just blend them together. That's why I like the P. Louise base, because it's not set, so you can really blend them in together. This is probably a better example. It's more of a harsh line, and just kind of get the brush and just blend it into the foundation. Then for inner corner highlight, one of my favorite colors is the MAC Vanilla pigment. I'm sure you can probably get a NYX pigment that's very similar, but this is just one of my like all-time faves at the moment. I've been obsessed with it. Look, so I'm just popping this in the inner corner right here. This brush is a Morphe E36 brush. Now for mascara. My favourite mascara at the moment is the Clara Cosmetics Totally Lashed Out Mascara. I'm obsessed with it. It just gives you, it's like literally so volumizing and I love it. So I'm just popping this on my top and bottom lashes. Okay, so here we have the completed look. I hope you really enjoyed this video. You have to keep an eye out for part 2, which will be on my base, which will be up on Friday. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe, and I will see you in part 2 on Friday. Bye!